Join now on the broadcast with Fred Wallace, the voice of the Owen Sound Attack team playing in the always competitive Midwest Division in the OHL and having a good start to the season. A lot of NHL drafted players. Tell us about the start of the season for Owen Sound.
Looking at things here, it's almost like an underwhelming start for Owen Sound. The brass believed, and certainly the fans probably believed more so, that this was going to be a banner season. Like you say, it's a good start. We're just a couple of wins back of first place in our division, which generally is the toughest division, although some might argue with that this year. Our start has not been overwhelming. It's been decent, but decent isn't going to cut it this year.
Is this a year where the Attack are expected to basically win the title?
I would suggest yes. Last year they went to the Western Conference Final against a very good Erie Otters team, and a good percentage of that team was returning. The big factors for Owen Sound, or what they're saying right now, is that the pieces that departed were even bigger than anyone could imagine. So Santino Santarami is out playing defense in the Canadian University League right now. He's out in your neck of the woods, so that was a big loss. Michael McNiven is in the Montreal Canadiens chain as a goaltender, and we certainly miss him. The other one was Petrus Palmu, who was a Finnish forward who would be an overage this year, but he was a marvelous player for us.
One player who is there, Nick Suzuki, first-round draft pick of Vegas. Tell us about his start to the season. I know he's near the top of the leaderboard in the OHL. How is he projecting going forward?
There's no issues with Nick whatsoever. If anything, he's developed a real ability to slow things down and do what he wants to do. If he gets in a good scoring opportunity or a shooting space, he might not shoot it. He might hold it and be able to get into an even better spot. So Nick has been very good, and he's coming off a hat trick here. Our other good performers, Jonah Gadjevich, who's a Vancouver draft pick, he is your prototypical power forward, works very hard all the time, had a little bit of an injury problem with his arm, but he's back and is a force in the corners. And the third player that's playing exceptionally well for us is a defenseman by the name of Sean Dursey. And people expected Sean would produce points, but I don't think they anticipated that at this point he'd be in the top 4 or 5 of scoring.
Other than Suzuki, first-rounder, obviously, who in the number of NHL draft picks the Attack have do you think projects best as a pro?
That's a great question. Well, I would think Jonah Gadjevich is going to play pro hockey some way, somehow, just because he is built. He would be probably 6'2", a little bit over 200, very well cut, amazingly dedicated to his diet, and very disciplined that way. I would say that of our drafted players on this team, Jonah Gadjevich would be the most likely to go the furthest right now. Skill level, Nick Suzuki probably would be some people's choice. And then undrafted on our team this year is Aiden Dudas. And Aiden is right now in Central Scouting Bureau is rated as a C, but the way he's played, and again, I have a bias because I've seen him 21 times this year, I think that he's got a chance to really put up some numbers in junior and open a lot of eyes at the pro level.
Lastly, I'll ask about the man behind the bench, Todd Gill. A lot of Maple Leafs fans in this part of the world would have seen him play. Tell us about him as a coach.
Good guy, like Todd, tough act to follow. He replaces Ryan McGill, who set a franchise record last year with 102 points and a franchise record for wins. So in comes Todd Gill with a team that is supposed to do well and replacing a coach that did very well. So that's been a bit of a struggle, but I can tell you that Todd is a good guy, and Todd loves what he's doing. He's very frustrated by what he's seeing right now with Owen Sound, even though they're sitting 4th in the conference, and with games in hand, they're essentially only 2 points out of first place. But he believes that they can be better, and he believes they will be better. In terms of his coaching style, I think what you're seeing here is a little softer of a treatment than what they had under Ryan McGill, certainly publicly. Maybe behind closed doors it's something else. But I think Todd just looks you square in the eye and says, you're not doing it, and as a result, you're not playing. So that's sort of his mantra of coaching, as opposed to Ryan McGill, who was very heavy-handed.
Well, we'll see how that goes as the rest of the season goes on. Thanks for telling us all about it, Fred. Interesting season in Owen Sound. Good luck to you in the Attack this season.
Pat, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it, and all the best to you and your club.
That's Fred Wallace. He's the voice of the Owen Sound Attack, joining us here at the intermission. You're listening to Carstar, K-Brighton, Screaming Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.